Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a news cycle on Global Television coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Wiyag Mofwegbe. President Bola Tinubu is expected to arrive Katsina tomorrow, June 24th, to flag off a two-day security talk shop between the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the Northwest Governors Forum. The president is also expected to deliver a keynote address at the Northwest Peace and Security Summit in collaboration with the UNDP, tagged Regional Cooperation for Securing Lives and Livelihoods in Northwest Nigeria. A press statement by the Chief Press Secretary to Katsina State Governor Mohammed Kaula on the itinerary of the president also stated that he will commission the ultra-modern 16-bed dialysis center, a healthcare project initiated by Governor Diko Rada at General Amadi Rimi Specialist Hospital, Batagarawa. In a different development, President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerian civil servants who have relocated abroad and are still drawing salaries from the federal government without formally resigning their appointments to refund the money they have fraudulently collected. The president made a call in Abuja at the award and gala night of the 2024 Civil Service Week, where he noted that during his recent visit to South Africa, he kept abreast of the week's activities and was particularly struck by the revelation shared by head of the civil service, Dr. Folashade Yemi Eso, regarding employees who had relocated abroad and still collecting salaries without formally resigning. The president, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, said that it is reassuring to hear that measures have been taken to address this issue, but charged that those responsible are held accountable and ensure they make restitution. The federal government, under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu, has disbursed more than 14 billion naira for the repair and maintenance of the presidential air fleet in 11 months. The payments made in 11 tranches between 16th July 2023 and 25th May 2024. This new development comes amidst plans by the National Assembly to approve the purchase of 2 new aircraft after it was discovered that the president's 19-year-old Boeing 737 and some of the other aircrafts in the fleet are dysfunctional. The House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence had listed the purchase in its technical subcommittee reports, which some experts estimate to stand at more than 900 billion naira. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Abia State University Uturu chapter, has said its members have not been paid their April and May 2024 salaries. Its government had announced that it paid the lecturers. Senior Special Assistant to Governor Oti on Dodo Okafor stated funds have been made available for the payment of outstanding salaries and attributed any delay to technical difficulties due to the migration of the institution to the Treasury Single Account Framework, noting that some workers have started receiving their salaries for the months of April and May. Elsewhere, Defense Headquarters says operational adjustments have been made by the military to prioritize protection of farmers to ensure a successful rainy season farming across the country. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, made this note while giving updates on the operations of the armed forces in Abuja. Buba noted that the operations were part of efforts to address the security challenges that prevented farmers from going to the farms and resulted in high cost of food in the country. The Nigerian Air Force has commenced investigation into the death of a 15-year-old student of Air Force Base Comprehensive School, Kaduna, identified as Blaise Felix Aliu. A statement issued by Air Force spokesman Air Vice Marshal Edward Gaboit stated that Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, and the Air Force family are saddened by the painful and unfortunate incident of the untimely death of the student. Amidst the controversy that has trailed the Kano Emirate tussle, Kano State government has earmarked the sum of 99.9 million naira for renovation of Nasarawa Mini Palace, where the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, currently resides. The State's Commissioner of Information, Halilu Dantiye, made the statement while briefing newsmen on the outcome of the State's Executive Council meeting chaired by Governor Abba Yusuf Dantiye said the sum was for renovation of the defective wall and surroundings at Nasarawa Emir's Palace. The managing director of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, Olubunmi Kuku, has taken a decisive step towards eliminating touting, extortion, and illicit activities at airports by establishing a dedicated task force to monitor activities of the airports managed by the agency. To spearhead this initiative is the Director of Special Duties at the authority, Henry Abire, who has now been appointed as the chairman of the task force. Kuku has also declared her intention to personally engage with all government agencies operating at the airports to ensure compliance with the touting and anti-extortion measures. Kuku announced plans to establish magistrate courts at international airports to expedite the legal process of prosecuting offenders. The task force has been mandated to enforce discipline among airport staff and maintain a culture of professionalism at all levels. In a bid to strengthen tax compliance, the federal government has filed a 6-count charge against World Property Development Company Limited for tax evasion. The Federal Inland Revenue Service filed the suit on behalf of the government, accusing the company of understating tax returns, false declaration of earnings, and failing to deduct and remit taxes. This is according to a document obtained in the suit where the federal government is listed as the complainant. Airstrikes by the Nigerian Air Force aircraft have destroyed 13 illegal refining sites and 7 Cotonou boats in Rivers, Bayelsa, and Imo State. The airstrikes also destroyed 5 J-5 buses attempting to siphon stolen crude oil from surface tanks. The Air Force spokesman, Vice Marshal Edward Gaboyd, who announced this in a statement today, said the airstrikes were carried out between June 18 and 22. Katsina State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency has won the esteemed Best State Healthcare Insurance Agency of the Year 2024 award at the National Healthcare Excellence Awards event held in Lagos. In a press statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, the victory was highlighted as Katsina State's second consecutive win following their previous triumph 2 years ago. The federal government has advised Nigerians to imbibe good personal and environmental hygiene to curb the spread of cholera in the country. Prominent Secretary at the Ministry of Environment, Mahmood Kambari, said this at an event to commemorate the 2024 National Environmental Sanitation Day in Piwoyi, a suburb community in the Federal Capital Territory. The National Environmental Sanitation Day is held June 28 yearly to create awareness of the significance of personal and environmental hygiene amongst Nigerians. The Director General of the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, Adewale Oyerinde, has encouraged the federal government to adopt alternative policies to foster growth and development in the private sector. The Director General of the association also noted that new reforms of government are impacting national life differently, stating that Nigeria's Employers Consultative Association aims to facilitate opportunities for government's interaction with organized businesses on its reforms, stating that the summit focuses on connecting the reforms with the private sector rather than scrutinizing them. On a side note, there has been a fire incident at Christ Embassy Church located in the Oregon area of Ikeja, Lagos, headed by Pastor Chris Oyakilome. The fire, which reportedly broke out in the early hours of the day, has caused significant damage to the church property, sending shockwaves throughout the community and beyond.
This is Christ Embassy, Oregon. As you can see, say go sound on the church. Say people don't dey inside church, sha.
The Director General of Lagos State Fire Service and Rescue, Margaret Adesheye, has however stated that the fire incident has now been brought under control. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP has sent a complaint to the World Bank Inspection Panel urging it to probe allegations of corruption in the spending of the loans and other funding facilities obtained by the federal government and Nigeria's 36 state governors, and to review the implementation of all bank-funded projects by successive governments since 1999. SERAP also urged the inspection panel to determine the extent to which bank management has followed or is following the World Bank's operational policies and procedures applicable to the design, appraisal, and implementation of all bank finance projects in the country. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mufwang has hosted representatives from the International Finance Corporation of the World Bank Group in a bid to attract investments aimed at revitalizing the state's industrial sector. The meeting was led by Dan Croft, Regional Industry Manager for Infrastructure in Central Africa and Anglophone West Africa. In a statement by his spokesperson, Gang Bere, he emphasized the need for partnerships to revive several legacy projects that have been abandoned in the state in order to put them to productive use for the benefits of the people of the state. You're watching News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Remember to kindly follow us across all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. When the news returns, Security and Exchange Commission directs fund managers to declare Heritage Bank investments. We have those details and more for you right after this short break. Please don't go away. This is Global Television bringing you a live broadcast of News Cycle with Uyag Mafwegbe. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, beyond the shores of Nigeria, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has headed to Washington to discuss the next phase of the Gaza war and escalating hostilities on the border with Lebanon, where exchanges of fire with Hezbollah have stoked fears of wider conflict. Meanwhile, Israeli fighter jets have targeted a place very close to the gates of United Nations Relief and Works Agency's main headquarters in Gaza City. Earlier in the war, the Israeli military stormed these headquarters, even setting the building on fire. After Israeli forces withdrew, the building was turned into an aid warehouse where families used to wait for long hours in order to get parcels of food. And now, as we look at business, the repeated slump in Nigeria's monthly oil output since January 2024 has resulted in a revenue loss of about 636.3 billion naira. Oil production data from a federal government agency indicated that Nigeria produced 1.43 million barrels of crude oil in January this year, but these nosedived to 1.25 million barrels per day in May. Figures obtained from the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission show that while the total volume of crude produced in January was 44.22 million barrels, it dropped to 38.8 million barrels in May. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has instructed all Nigerian fund managers to provide detailed information regarding their exposure to the recently liquidated Heritage Bank. The head of the monitoring department of the commission, Tafra Mekiao, stated in a signed circular to the president of the Fund Managers Association of Nigeria that the SEC demanded comprehensive data on fund managers' investment in Heritage Bank to be submitted no later than June 30, 2024 via email. It added that the SEC was particularly concerned about the potential impact of the capital markets and sought to understand the extent of proprietary and client funds tied to the bank. On entertainment, Big Brother Niger star Adekunle Olokbade has confirmed his breakup with Venita Akpofure, his former partner from the All Stars edition. In an interview, Adekunle described their relationship in the house as real, but declined to use the word love, implying a deep connection, but not necessarily romance. In sports, World 100-meter champion Sha'Carri Richardson has earned a chance for Olympic redemption after winning the 100 at the U.S. Athletics Trials, booking her ticket to the Paris Games. 3 years after a positive marijuana test saw her kicked off the U.S. team for the Tokyo Olympics, Richardson captured the World Women's 100 final in a 10.71 second, with Melissa Jefferson second in 10.80 and Chwani Terry third in 10.89. The groups of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup 2024 have been unveiled in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. This marks the first time the Dominican Republic will host a FIFA tournament set to take place from October 16 to November 3, 2024. The Flamingos are drawn with the host nation, while Kenya and Zambia are in Group C and D, respectively. And that's a full circle on the news, and it came to you here from Global Television, from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Remember, we're on Star Times, channel 276, and we urge you to kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles. As you now see on your screen, I am Agbo Mofwegbe. I'll see you again at 8 o'clock with News Prime. Thank you for watching.